consultants, and we help people raise their business profitability, grow their businesses in a whole host of different strategic approaches, processes, planning and techniques. And what I want to share with you today is just one small piece of those techniques, which is about how we look after our customers, how our customers work with us, and how we can get the best relationship out of them. Because if you don't have a relationship with your customers, you can only really negotiate on one thing, and that's price. And that's not productive, because that's just where you just give away margin in means of overcoming customer resistance. So, in the traditions of marketing and business strategy, I have a 4-box matrix. And it's quite salutary if you classify your customers on 2 axes. One, the strength of the relationship you have with them, and second, the amount of power and influence they have in their organisation. Now, in the top right-hand box, we find the group who've got a lot of power and they love us and we know them well. Now, they're obviously your golden clients. And we have to nurture them. But like all relationships, you can't neglect them. You can't take them for granted. You've got to keep working with them and building them. But they can be very powerful because they're the people who give you your testimonials. And they're the people who can introduce you to other people, both inside and outside their organisation, who could possibly do business with. So they're great. The second group are these group here that are called the support group. They're the ones who like us, but they haven't got a whole lot of power and influence. Now, your sales force can spend an awful lot of time and your resources talking to these people, and then I'm sure you've seen it, they come back and say, well, we're getting really well, but we just didn't get the business. Why is that? The reason is that they haven't got the power and the influence to give you that business. But if you do support them, if you give them information, tools, techniques, advice, you can help them improve their influence within the organisation. You can also get them to introduce you to the people who don't know you so well, but have that power. So they're a great group of people to ask that question, who else should I be talking to in your organisation? Who else is involved in this decision-making process? And using that to best effect. The third group are those people in the bottom right-hand corner, the people who've got lots of power and influence, but we don't have much of a relationship with them, or perhaps they don't even like you. Now that's a really important group that we need to develop. And those people can have an awfully corrosive effect in our organisation if we don't address them properly. Because they're the ones who can stop you getting business, they're the ones who can drive your margin down. Those people are people we need to find out what is the issue, what's going on. It may simply be they don't know who you are. If they don't know who you are, then use the people in the top 2 boxes to introduce you. It may be there's an issue going on, perhaps they've had some false impression of what your business does, perhaps they don't know what you stand for, perhaps they've had a bad experience in the past. So again, those people in those top boxes can help you convince them that actually you are good guys, you are people who can help them, you have a solution to offer them. And over time, and it does take time, you can move them up into that nurture box. The fourth group are the people who've got not a lot of power and influence, and they don't know you, they don't particularly care for you. Now some might say, well, ignore them, what's the point of wasting time on them? I wouldn't say that. I think you really need to watch those people. Because those people can move across into that group that you need to develop if they gain power and influence in their organisation. And really what you want to be doing is moving them up into the support area, or ideally across into that nurture area. And the way you do that is you can't devote a whole lot of resource to them, but you need to devote some to them and help them get access to those pieces of information, those pieces of advice that you're giving to the support group, but at a relatively low cost. So point them in the direction of web resources you might be publishing, or let them have a book or something, but something just so they rub off a little bit of the love that other people might feel for your organisation. Now that's great theory, but where's the practical reality behind all this? And what you have to do with this classification, and by all means what I'm saying, advocating here, is classifying the people in those key organisations, those key companies that you're targeting. you have to critically look at those relationships, and they can be quite frightening when you do, and then use it as a basis for a plan, an action plan. By an action plan, there's people's names attached to it and there's times to it. It may be something as simple as, we know so-and-so is very powerful in that organisation, but they don't know us. Let's get X to introduce us to them. And then take those plans as part of your key account management plan, action them, and most importantly, review them and refresh them.